Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Happy President's Day.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, comparing the presidents back then to the one now,
right?
There is no comparison, obviously. Holy mackerel.
It's a mind bender.
It really is. It's trippy.
It is.
Yeah. So here we are again.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Yeah, it's fantastically cold Monday.
It is. It's John Peterson, Gordy Young, Sam Davison behind the switches and the buttons.
That's our names.
Yeah, those are our names still. Yeah, they haven't changed much.
I'm John.
And I'm Gordy.
What if we all go and get our names changed for fun?
Just for fun?
Yeah.
Just legally change? Really?
No, let's
illegally.
Let's go on with different personalities sometimes.
Yeah, we'll have to
filling in for us.
Assume pseudonyms.
Yeah,
for when the government comes to get us, right?
That's right. We have to hide ourselves because, we're pro-democracy and they're obviously pro-totalitarianism. So, they do not mix. And obviously they are the ones who try to eliminate the pro-democracy people.
Yep. We could go with pseudonyms and maybe for April Fool's Day or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun, huh?
Yeah.
I have to come up with a character. I do know a character that I want to be.
Yeah? Do you?
Yes.
Okay. You want to keep it to yourself?
No, I can tell you what it is. It's my favorite character.
Is it?
Johnny Grenade.
Johnny Grenade?
I want
I
want the return of Johnny Grenade again. It's when I was working at Q106 when I first moved here, we had a weekend where we're supposed to take, different names and different personalities, and I just came up with that instantly because I didn't prepare. Nothing, but I did have an explosive effect, and I thought, well, I can use that. So I came up with Johnny Grenade.
It's very bombastic. Yeah. It's
I think it was a takeoff on Johnny Danger. Just the silliness of a name like that.
Johnny Danger's still on the air.
He is.
Yeah.
I know.
We got to reach out to him and, get him in here. Or maybe simulcast sometime.
I'm just trying to think, was he around at that time in 1980?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he came around till mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
He started at Z104.
Yeah. Yeah. So Johnny Grenade
barricaded himself in the studio. What a bit.
Yeah.
And played the same song over and over for like 48 hours.
That's great. That's like having a DJ in an ice cube for 3 or 4 days, It's a nice charity bit, but it's old.
It's old and bothersome. Well, weather, it's really cold out there, and it's going to stay cold for the next few days.
Yeah.
Well, we had all that snow over the weekend and a lot of shoveling, and now it's just all freezing up, and it's going to be really cold.
I'm exhausted from this last weekend.
Yeah,
oh my
just
God.
a lot of shoveling, I know. Over and over again. It
just never ends.
Yeah.
And now the dusting this morning.
Yeah. We didn't get much.
Well, no, we didn't get
enough.
much, but there was blowing snow.
Yeah.
So I had some drifts over the sidewalk in front of my house. I didn't see that.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are probably going to trip and fall and slip and slide and sue me.
Oh, my God. Sam, you went up north. Did they have snow up there?
Oh, yeah. We had snow. I went up to Wausau before the snow really hit us. I stopped at my parents' house to work on the Volkswagen. It's still not here. It's going to be here eventually.
What do you mean you didn't get it done? I thought you had it done.
I just am keep keep chasing down problems. I brought all of my carburetors back to try and build one working one, though.
How many carburetors do you have for that thing now?
4, I think, parts of 4.
Good
So I'm
Lord.
trying to make one working one. But anyway, I drove up the rest of the way to Rhinelander because I was working at a scout camp this past weekend, and it's easier to take faster to take the back roads, at least normally, from my parents' house up to Rhinelander. That was probably not the best choice,
Really?
given the weather conditions.
Yeah.
But I made it up there all right. I didn't go off the road or anything.
How's the? I think the Berkeminer's coming up this week, later this.
Yeah, I saw that on the news.
Yeah.
It's been put off so many times, I just gave up on it.
Will they have
I
snow?
love participating in it, but this year, no, I didn't think it would be.
No, you were. You're gonna skip it this year.
Yeah, I'm going to skip it this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Sam always tries to come across as Mr. Boy Scout. I'm
Sure.
getting tired
I
of that
know.
old story. Well, I was at scout camp.
Well, he was an Eagle Scout. I mean, that's as high as it goes, right? I think.
Yeah,
It doesn't go any higher than that. So, I mean, I can see why he's proud
Why
to do
are
that.
people proud of being scouts?
What you got
Because
against
there's a
them?
lot of
kind of
things
mil-
you have to achieve.
It's
to,
kind
in
of
order to-
militaristic, I think, with the outfits and stuff, uniforms.
You learn about the great outdoors, how to camp and stuff.
No,
and how to-
no, it's too disciplined.
How to run a
I don't
company.
need anything.
How to
You
do a
want chaos, don't you?
how to
Yes,
do a
I like
compass.
chaos. Yeah.
I bet, Sam, how many merit badges did you
I
attain?
Couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Really, so many you can't count.
No,
But I think about
probably, I
35
think you got to
or so.
get 26 in
Oh,
order to
okay.
get Eagle Scout.
That's not
so
easy.
At least that many.
But you are an Eagle Scout.
I am. Yeah.
I'd say,
There's
yeah.
3 Eagle Scouts who work here. Me, Aaron Zommers, and Luke Mathers.
That's amazing.
Kind of crazy.
That explains a lot.
It does. It does. The scouting didn't exactly prepare if you're a professional occupation.
Yeah, that's why I'm still here, right?
That's right. Because you're moving on in June, I guess. To become a teacher, right?
Yeah.
Teacher assistant. Is that what
Well,
you're going to be
a
at first?
teacher, it's going to take a little bit before I become an actual teacher.
Observation.
Unless we can
stuff like that.
change your mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to. Well, I'm chained to the desk
No.
right now. I got to find a way out of these chains before June.
Okay. Don't change your mind. It's just a little advice, my
Hmm.
friend. Doug in St. Francis says, when you guys are asleep, you're not woke. So, just for those few moments, we're
Thanks-
not woke.
Thanks for sharing, Doug. It's cold out there. Let's get to the weather. It's -2 at the moment, and wind chills 15 to 25 below. What will the afternoon high be? What do you think? What are we going to do?
Well,
We're gonna
let's
do
find out.
The roulette wheel? Should we
Yes.
spin the wheel? Okay. It's not going to be much. I know that. It's going to be cold, cold, cold. The high today, 5 above. Just 5.
5 red.
5 red. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. And it's President's Day, so I don't know. Are the post offices closed on President's
Well,
Day?
yes, yes. Obviously, everything is closed federally. In fact,
It's
because
shut
of
down
Trump,
anyway.
everything is shut down.
Perfect timing, I guess.
What the hell is going on, right?
don't
This
know.
country
Just-
can't function. I have no idea what's going on, how we're going to get anything done. This is like dominoes. They shut it down, and then everything, all the dominoes start falling, and it'll affect our lives. I just don't know when, but it's going to affect our lives.
When's he going to go after the post office again? Didn't he go after the post office in the first term? And it didn't.
Well, I don't remember.
yeah.
I don't remember. I know the post office needs people. They need carriers.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great job, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got
Maybe
an-
not on
seems
a
like
day like this, but
Right.
well, I've got a nephew that is a postal guy. And
Worker,
Yeah,
yeah.
he walks all, I mean, it's
good
Great
exercise.
exercise. That's what he loves about it.
Yeah.
But the benefits, wow. The money, phew, come on. It's great
It's
stuff.
all good.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably going to change. Okay, let's
Yeah.
get to the national. Oh,
Well,
I haven't even.
they've wanted to privatize the post office for years.
Yes. They've wanted to, and I figured Jeff
Maybe this is
Bezos
that
could just
chance.
take over.
Yeah.
Just expand
true.
Amazon.
That's
a
I
little
got
bit.
I got a little grudge against the post office.
Do you?
They wouldn't hire me when I was looking for a job once.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know why. I was only looking for a job for like a few months.
That's why.
I don't think I told them that though. So unless they like could read my mind or something, I don't know.
Maybe it's because you're an Eagle Scout. They don't allow people
Yeah.
that have achieved that much. Let's take a look at the National Day calendar for today, February 17th. All right. Yes. Is it or is it not? National Cabbage Day? How about National Flannel Day? National Random Acts of Kindness Day? And we know it's President's Day. So which one of those other days does not belong? John Peterson, over to you.
It's not Flannel Day.
You're correct. That was an easy one. I always make them easy on Monday.
Well, I'm really glad.
Yeah?
I like to be right every once in a while.
Well, you know it's President's Day, but we'll get to that in a minute. National Cabbage Day. Who doesn't love delightful cabbage? Let's see. What can we find out? Best recipes for the Celtic holidays come up next month. It's an excellent day to test your corned beef and cabbage skills, along with other delicious seasonal dishes. That's right. Yes.
Nice.
St. Patrick's Day is coming.
Wow, just fantastic.
From the French cabbage, the French word cabbage, meaning a head, cabbage comes in various varieties of forms. The cabbage family, you remember the cabbage family? They live down the street from you around the corner. Cabbage family is quite varied and includes Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower, bok choy, and kale. Cabbage is an ancient food with origins in Asia Minor, which is Turkey today, and the Eastern Mediterranean. French explorer Jacques Cartier was the first to bring cabbage to the Americas.
Wow.
It must have been exciting for everybody.
A lot of indigestion.
Right? Okay, that's enough about
well, that's
cabbage.
good.
We don't care. Are you a big cabbage fan? No.
No, not so much. I like Brussels sprouts.
Oh, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. National Random Kindness Day. Acts of kindness. Boy, I can't talk.
That's right.
Random Acts of Kindness Day. Let's see. The movement of random acts of kindness inspires people every day as a favorite celebration for everybody to enjoy these acts of kindness. Okay.
I think we've killed that day in this country.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist
We
anymore.
don't do that anymore.
No. We've got a whole lot more. In fact, we've got more on President's Day coming up. Yeah. And Sam will crack open the history book when we return with John and Gordy for a Monday morning.
I can't wait.
Me either. 92.7 WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. Happy President's Day to you.
By the way, you didn't know this, but it's Global Tourism Resilience Day today.
What?
And I'm unsure of what that means exactly. Resilience. Resilience to be a tourist in this global community that we live in.
All right.
What's
Should we get to the history books?
Yes.
I just remembered that it's President's Day, and Verlo Mattress has a President's Day sale going on.
Yes.
But I don't have it right in front of me, but
okay.
we'll get to that shortly.
All
okay.
right.
Sam, take it over. What's happening? It's time to open the history books and see what's going on. Come on.
I didn't want you to say
Come
that. It's so
on, man.
dusty.
Do it.
No, don't do that. No.
Get your mask on. Why don't you put the mask? Oh, never mind.
Just get the Kindle out and just do it the right way.
Have the Kindle, the electronic version. I left it at home. We always keep the book here, though, and it gets so dusty. I think somebody sprinkles asbestos on it or something.
I'm sure it's asbestos. Yep.
Great.
We're
Love
trying
to
to bring that back, you know.
It's so useful, right?
Well,
Why did
yeah.
they use it before?
It doesn't burn, you know. They certainly want to make everything asbestos now.
Right?
Make America asbestos again.
Yeah. Okay, what do we got in the history book today? Today, in 1864, the CSS Hunley. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's,
No.
It was a Confederate submarine.
Oh,
A submarine during the Civil War. It was the first submarine to ever sink an enemy ship on this day. And unfortunately, it also sank immediately after it sunk the enemy ship.
Well, that's too bad.
Was that in the Mississippi River?
I believe it was in the ocean. It
was? Or?
Yeah, it was
In the
a
Atlantic?
couple miles off of the
Oh,
coast of one of the
Okay.
Carolinas.
I
believe.
remember seeing a documentary where they had something like that in the Mississippi.
Really?
Could be
Submarine there?
Could be wrong.
Are you
Who
thinking
knows?
of the ironclads?
What are the
Probably.
The
ironclads?
ironclads were wooden ships that had iron armor on them, and they were mostly river boats. But it was like the first entry of iron into shipbuilding. Really, it was kind of a showcase for the rest of the world, and everyone started building metal boats after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But
All right.
anyway, Hunley sank on this day in 1864. A
Okay.
couple years later, more maritime history. The Suez Canal opened in 1867.
Okay.
And we jump forward a little bit. Last week, we were talking about the Voice of America. Voice of America began broadcasting to Russia on this day in 1947.
Okay.
Wonder
Well,
how
we
long
don't-
that'll keep going.
We don't need that anymore.
No.
All right. What else?
I wanted to, well, the reason I mentioned before, I went home to work on my Volkswagen. Today in 1972, the VW Beetle overtook the Ford Model T as the most produced car in the world. And I wanted to get it here for that occasion,
Oh.
but still having trouble.
It's too
Yeah,
bad.
yeah, it's too bad. You know,
right.
promises. You know, I've heard that so many times from people who work on cars, the gearheads. You know, I'm going to have that done in
Yeah.
a week. Yeah, we'll be good with that. You know,
Well, it's
I'll have
driven
the
here
engine in
before.
together.
I
Right.
think Gordy has ridden in it.
Yes.
So you know that it is, like, it can be drivable.
I've seen you drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in 1972, you said the Beetle took over from the Model T as the most produced car?
Yeah, the Model T had
Yeah,
production numbers of like 15 million something over its entire lifespan. And in 72, the Beetle overtook that. By the end of the Beetle's production run, it had, like, I think 21 million cars produced.
That's weird because you never see the old Beetles on the road anymore.
Yeah, very
Well,
rarely.
They're 50 years old. Most
Yeah, I
cars
know,
that are
but-
50 years old aren't on the road anymore.
True.
You know, maybe they're just not on the road in Wisconsin or the Midwest because we kind of salt things. And
In Mexico, they made them until 2003, the old style Beetles. So if you go down there, you can still see quite a few of them.
that's pretty cool. I remember when they dropped out of popularity.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of sad. I always liked them. I never had a Beetle. I had Carmen
Yeah.
Diaz.
Right.
But Beetles were really cool.
Carmen
Especially
Diaz.
the convertible Beetles back then.
Yes.
I wish I could.
Very
have
cool.
convertible.
Yeah.
Anything else on this date?
I don't know what you're getting at. The birthdays or This is a little bit downer of history.
You want us to Debbie Downer.
Debbie Downer. We'll get to that in a minute. SNL.
Today in we got a little clip for that.
Yeah.
Today in 1992, Jeffrey Dahmer was sentenced to 15 life terms in prison.
He didn't quite make it through those 15 terms.
No, he got killed in prison, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Just not too far away from here.
And he lived in Portage, right?
Portage.
Lived in Portage.
Yeah,
he was imprisoned in
Oh,
Portage.
yeah, he lived the lifestyle in Portage at the federal prison.
No, if you bring him Saturday Night Live, you know, the
50th
Debbie Downer
anniversary.
bit, right?
Yes,
I mean,
she did
Debbie
that.
Downer should have made it to our party over the weekend because then she could have told the story about Jeffrey Dahmer as we were eating.
Well, it wasn't our party. It was the party for Catherine's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, at
She's,
her house, at her
80
new house.
80 years old.
80,
It's amazing.
87, I think.
87.
Yeah.
I thought it was the
She's in good
90th
shape.
on Friday.
Okay, well, she rolled back the odometer a few years. But...
I think that 9 was flipped up.
Yeah, they were.
Oh,
Over.
yeah.
I mean,
really?
It was upside down. So,
Oh, that was a good party. By the way, if Philip and Dory are listening, there was a picture that Dory took of John and me on the couch.
Yes.
And Dory, if you can get that to us somehow, maybe send, what email would she send that to? Or Sam?
Well, she's friends with Catherine, right? She can pass it along to her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's right.
That's good. Yeah. We'd like to see that picture.
Maybe not.
It was a good part. It was great to see everybody there.
It was. Yeah.
A lot of locals and some out-of-towners there.
Well, Rocker showed up.
Rocker was there,
For the
yes.
very first time in a long
It was
time. We
great
got to
to
see
see
him.
him.
He's looking good. He's
He
looking
is.
good after
Yep.
the heart attack.
Yep. So, good times.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, is that it for the history books? That's all, huh?
That's
birthdays.
everything that's ever happened on this day. Yeah.
What about birthdays?
We do have a couple birthdays. It's Michael Jordan's birthday,
Mm-hmm.
born today in 1963, and
Yeah,
Ed Sheeran's birthday. You know who Ed Sheeran is?
Ed
or
Sheeran.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
no one wants
The
to know
singer.
who he is.
Yeah.
No one wants to
Well,
know.
a lot of people hate him.
Yeah.
Why do
hate
they
his
hate
music.
him?
Well, he's
They just
kind of
don't like his
generic,
music.
you know?
Yeah. He's what?
Generic.
Okay.
You know, we've had them through the history of music.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
You don't like
generic
his
artists.
Can you even name one of his songs?
No, that's
Okay.
why. He's
Okay.
kind of bland.
Okay. We're going to get to the big.
I'm sorry. I know
50th.
there are Ed Sheeran people
There are
out there
a lot
that
of
just
fans
love
of Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, but you know, this guy, no.
We're going to get to the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. We've got a little bit
Yes.
from that
Yep.
coming
let's
up.
try that.
And a whole lot more on the Monday President's Day edition of John and Gordy in the Morning.
As the 21st century began, human evolution was at a turning point, a dumbing down, until humanity was incapable of solving even its most basic problems.
What an idiot.
The inner machinations of my mind are an enigma.
What the f***'s going on around here?
Holy shit.
Idiocracy.
For the smartest guy in the world, you're pretty dumb sometimes.
Amazing stuff. Really is. Thank you, Mark, for your comment. Did it cost the same $15 million to send Trump to NASCAR? Or was it more in time with the belt tightening that they're actually going through right now in Washington? I'll tell you, that is ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, he went down to NASCAR and with his limo and his security limos, and they took a lap around the track. Probably did cost about $15 million.
There's a point at which you can be a complete a-hole, and this, is just mounting that on top of more of what he's trying to do, just in our face. I just can't stand it. It's driving me nuts. It is.
Yeah.
We've got after 7 o'clock, we'll be focusing in on Elon and what he is doing.
That's right. We've also got Madison Mayor Paul Soglin lined up in our 7 o'clock hour. We'll be talking to him about Elon and Trump and his take on everything.
Wow. I'm just reading the story in Yahoo News about what Elon pointed out as government waste.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know anything about what's going on in the government. He is totally clueless.
Right?
So he's out there bad-mouthing government because he doesn't understand it, and he thinks all of it's illogical and it's taking too long. And he doesn't understand. And, a lot of this is the fault of the Republicans who don't want to fund government, doesn't want to make government updated, computerized, even updates the software that the government uses. They try to hold all of this back. So Elon comes in and says, oh my gosh, we've got old computers. Some of this is still in paperwork. We hate the paperwork. Oh my gosh. No, thank you for the Republicans doing this. This is what they've done. It took Biden to make sure, in fact, I think he passed this thing where we're getting rid of all paperwork. See, everything was on paper. Now they're digitizing everything, and their goal is to digitize all paperwork in the federal government. I know this because I'm a census taker. We got this bulletin and these lessons, and I learned all about it, but he doesn't know that. Right? He's talking about some cave where they have all this paperwork, and it takes so long to, fire people or have people retire because the paper have to go through all this paperwork before the person can retire. Well, you know what? They're getting rid of it, you dump. Oh, God. There are so many things that people don't understand about what's going on in the government, and he is kind of making it sound worse, much worse than it really is. And it's all because the government is not getting funded it needs to change and update itself into the 21st century. We'll get into that. I'm just angry. That's
all right. Well, hold that thought for a moment. If you'd like to chime in, try to help me calm down, John. You can call us at 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK, or just do it the easy way. Get on the Civic Media app. It's free to download. You can text us right from the app or call us from the app, too.
So somebody wants to know the year of your VW, Sam.
It's a 74. It's 51 years old.
Yep.
Okay. That's Bob from Cross Plains.
Yeah.
Doug just chimed in from St. Francis. Wasn't it the Democrats that came up with the slogan, defund the police? Now the Republicans are defunding the entire government. Conspiracy?
Yeah, could be. Actually, the Democrats didn't come up with that. It's, a lot of black communities did not want the police around anymore. Remember, that happened here in Madison as well. And they wanted to defund the police, which I thought was the dumbest slogan you could ever put together.
Well, yeah.
I was never for it.
Yeah, not going to get a lot of people behind that.
No. It needs reform. Police departments need reform. I think they had a lot of good ideas about reforming it.
Right.
But then they just put it under the slogan, defund the police, and it killed everything. All reform.
Got to be careful when you choose those slogans, people. Just as you're putting your groups together.
What was that slogan that John and Gordy had?
I don't recall.
I can't recall either because we're trying to forget that one.
Okay.
It was a bad slogan.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to something from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, well, that happened over the weekend. First Saturday night, they showed the very first episode of Saturday Night Live, the one way back 50 years ago with George Carlin. And then last night, they had a 3-hour plus extravaganza. It was actually came in at 3 hours and 20 minutes. I watched almost all of it. And, here's Steve Martin with the opening monologue.
All right,
here, a little bit of it anyway.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve Martin.
Good evening, and welcome to the 50th anniversary of Saturday Night Live. I'm Steve Martin, Saturday Night Live's newest diversity hire. And what a thrill it is to be here. When I heard that SNL wanted to do an anniversary special, I literally wanted to leap into the air. And the only reason I didn't is because at the time I was wearing a short skirt with no underwear. Now, I can't believe I even made it here in time. It was only a few days ago that Lauren told me I was doing the monologue, and I was actually vacationing on a friend's boat down in the Gulf of Steve Martin, and I finally... It took me a while to get here, but I did. Now, Saturday Night Live, as you know, turned 50 years old this year, and I turned 79. But I feel like I'm 65, which is also not good. Now, seriously, I do not mind getting older. Do you think these hearing aids make my ass look smaller? I do. Now, a fun fact, a person born during the first season of Saturday Night Live could today be easily dead of natural causes.
Just a little bit.
Wow.
Just a little bit.
Boy, that's great stuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
my God.
really a good show. I was very impressed. A lot of old clips, of course, and they saluted all the older members, the not ready for primetime players, most of which were all there in attendance.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase was there. He doesn't get out much. He didn't go on stage, but he was there. And Lorraine Newman and Jane Curtin and Garrett Morris. Bill Murray was there. Yeah, it was a good show.
That's great.
Good show. And
That's
a lot
great
of the
stuff.
A lot of the other cast members, too.
Well, I can't wait to check it out. I know I recorded Saturday Night Live. Hope it picked it up last night.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Good show.
All right. This is Idiocracy.
Yes, it is.
And, I hate to bring everybody down.
Well, that's what you do, though. I mean,
I know.
That's your...
I am the Debbie Downer here on the show.
She was part of the show, too.
Yeah.
Debbie Downer.
That's great
Rachel
stuff.
Dratch.
Yeah, I read about the whole bit. I mean, everybody had their catchphrases, but she didn't have a catchphrase.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Did they have the little
Yeah, they did.
They did. Okay,
the horn.
that is the catchphrase. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is just great stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. But, being in a crowded situation, you're talking to your friends and like that. She always has the ability to tell the wrong story.
Bring everybody down.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Okay, well, let's bring everybody down.
Okay, what do you got?
Jen Psaki was talking to journalist Judd Lugham, okay? And they were talking about Elon going through all this personal information on public employees, and I thought this was great commentary. So let's check this out. This is cut 24, and it's about DEI hires. Just like they asked.
What? Steve Martin?
Yeah, Steve Martin. Okay. All right, let's check that out.
The Office of Personnel Management, which is basically the HR department for the entire federal government. You might remember that during the first week of the new administration, OPM rolled out a new system to email the entire federal government from a single email address. The next week, that system was used to send an email to roughly 2 million federal workers with an offer to resign. According to new reporting from investigative reporter Judd Legum and his new Substack Musk Watch, love the name, Musk-connected political hires installed at OPM have received, quote, unprecedented access to federal human resources databases containing sensitive personal information for millions of federal employees. This database contains social security numbers, dates of birth, salaries, home addresses, and job descriptions of all civil government workers. The reporting goes on to detail that, quote, a new server being used to control these databases has been placed in a conference room that Musk's team is using as their command center. A staffer described the server as a piece of commercial hardware they believe was not obtained through the proper federal procurement process.
This information is already being used to target people. The purge of all of the so-called DEI staffers, it was done by looking at the job descriptions that are in this database. They were talking to me about how there are foreign adversaries on a daily basis who are seeking the information in these databases for espionage purposes.
That's right. So, it's crazy that he's going through personal databases in the first place.
Yes.
This guy has not had any vetting at all.
No
we don't know
security
anything about him. I know I got a
clearances.
little bit on that coming up later on, but I was just reading, Musk said only 10,000 federal employees can retire a month because it takes so long to process the paperwork, by the way, that they're trying to get rid of and digitize everything in the government, you dumbass. He described the Iron Mountain mine as a time warp, slowing down a completely manual federal retirement process. Again, Republicans have prevented the government from digitizing and going computer. Basically, it is just insane what they have forced the government to go along with for so many decades after decades after decades. The Environmental Protection Agency, inspired by Doge's crackdown on federal spending, said it had located $20 billion in tax dollars within the agency that the Biden administration reportedly knew they were wasting. Oh, did they know that?
Oh, they knew
According to this, an extremely disturbing video circulated 2 months ago featuring a Biden EPA political appointee talking about how they were tossing gold bars off the Titanic, rushing to get billions of your tax dollars out the door before Inauguration Day. You know why they did that?
Why?
Because they were actually trying to fund, projects from the EPA. They wanted to get the chargers out there. They wanted to pay for those things. They wanted to pay for some of the wind production out there.
Sure.
They wanted to pay for solar. They wanted to get all this money out, the gold bars off the Titanic. You can describe it that way if you like. You know what? But what they're trying to do is get all this stuff done before Trump came in and put a halt to all of it, which, by the way, he did. And he's clawing all that money back.
Yeah.
And they're calling that waste. Okay. And, a lot of the southern states have all these green energy projects going on, and now they're losing out. And yes, a lot of people are becoming unemployed. Companies are going out of business because of it, and we don't hear about it because the fire hose of BS coming from the Trump administration and all the closings and Elon's, ridiculous moves in the government and stopping everybody, from spending any kind of money. Well, all of that is, bringing the entire economy to a halt. We've got interest rates going up. We've got high unemployment at this point. It's getting worse. Things are getting worse out there, and it's it doesn't bode well in the future.
Inflation is kicking in.
Yeah,
price of eggs keeps going up.
Yeah, they're not. And I know.
It's all about the eggs.
It is about the eggs.
Don't forget the eggs.
Oh, God.
You guys don't understand how happy I was to eat eggs this weekend when I was up north.
Are they cheap eggs up there?
Yeah, they came out of a bag, but it was still so good because I haven't had eggs for like 2 or 3 weeks now because they're so expensive.
What do you mean out of a bag?
You buy them in a bag. They're all like pre-blended, and you make scrambled eggs with them. You pour them into a pan and heat it up and.
How many people are you cooking for?
Where the hell did you get eggs in a bag? Please,
because you got campers, right?
Is this like industrial?
Yeah, there's probably 120 people there this weekend.
Is this a restaurant quality bags?
This is like the cheap eggs that you can get. Yeah, it came packaged in a bag.
Are they
That
okay?
doesn't
So they're
sound
already
right. That doesn't sound good.
they're out of the show. Okay.
Yeah, they've been pre-cracked. Yes.
Pre-cracked. Okay. All right. We'll be back with more of John and Gordy in a moment.
WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning, broadcasting from the capital city, Madison, overlooking State Street. It's cleared. It's beautiful. They've been sweeping. They've been brushing. No snowblowers at this point, but we'll see.
Happy President's Day.
Yeah.
Isn't it also the national protests are going on today?
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Yeah, we had a comment on the stream a little bit earlier. If you can't make it to D.C., it's probably a little bit late to get to D.C. at this point today.
Right.
They're apparently are supposed to be protests again at state capitals at noon today.
At noon, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
It is President's Day, and this portion of the John and Gordy Morning Show is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. They're having a big President's Day sale. And you can get in on this, save an extra $250, $500, or $800 on their factory direct prices. And for a limited time, save up to 50% on their adjustable bases. You can hurry in and save big during the President's Day sale. These offers are valid at their East Side location or West Side location. Free 0% financing available for 6, 12, or even 18 months. And be sure to ask about their lifetime comfort guarantee. Verlo Mattress. You can go to verlo.com for
Think
more
about
information.
it this way.
What?
The more time you spend asleep on a Verlo mattress, the less time that you need to witness the idiocracy that we're living through.
No, that's a good point.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Stay unconscious.
Thank
Just
you.
sleep through all of this if you can. I'm still looking over this article. The waste that Elon is trying to convince us is going on. Okay, and it's the spin that does it. If you understand government at all and how you spend money, there's nothing special here. It's nothing different. But anyway, this is how they spin it. The EPA found that just 8. Now that's the point here. They found just 8 agencies were controlling the distribution of tens of billions of dollars, okay? Taxpayer dollars. Now, so 8 agencies, could have been 10, could have been 15, I don't know, could have been 3 agencies. So what? It's just dumb. And then they go on to say this: the gold bars were tax dollars, and tossing them off the Titanic meant the Biden administration knew they were wasting it. No, the country's the Titanic, okay? And when Trump takes over, it's going to sink. That's why they were tossing the gold bars off of it, okay? No. Okay. They were just trying to get the money out there before they left office because they wanted to fund the projects that they passed legislation on. That was the whole point. The gold bars, vowing to recover the gold bars that were found parked at the outside financial institution. They just spin all of this stuff. They don't understand government whatsoever. Okay, ICE.
Yeah, we're getting some interesting texts here. Read the one from John in Madison. There,
all right,
at the top.
John, okay. At the top, right?
ICE.
ICE and the immigration raiders are finding out and deporting 600 people a day. Okay, and assuming 12 million immigrants. How many years will it take?
And he said, answer available upon request.
I'm way ahead of you, John. If I did my math right, I really got to stop doing math on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I did my math right, it's going to be just shy of 55 years to deport 12 million people.
Yeah, it'll take a while, but
Oh yeah,
they'll get it done.
Oh yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
But they're so far behind in this promise to deport so many people,
right?
That they can't keep up. They're way behind, and they're not accomplishing that one big promise to get rid of all these individuals because they're not easy to find, and they were just overblown. This was just a campaign promise, to get people to vote for them. And stir up some reaction, for those people who thought that Wisconsin was on the border for some reason. But we do need immigrants in this country, and they haven't done anything to reform the immigration process. And this story out of Wisconsin, the decline in births is reshaping Wisconsin's higher education landscape. Many UW system schools facing enrollment challenges and financial strain. The birth rate in Wisconsin has fallen to nearly 22% over the last 3 decades, reflecting a nationwide trend of fewer births. Immigration has allowed Wisconsin's population to remain steady. Did you get that? Immigration has allowed Wisconsin's population to remain steady. Thanks to Trump, that's about to end. Plus, I think Wisconsin Republicans waited till the last moment, which is now too late, to expand fiber optic to connection statewide. Now, that is one of those things that, those are one of the gold bars they were throwing over the Titanic to try to keep the expansion of fiber optic throughout the state.
Yes.
And that's coming to a halt.
So many things. So much to keep track of, right?
So many things.
At 6:57, hey, this reminder, David J. Frank is bringing you this portion of the John and Gordy Show. They are your turnkey one-stop landscaping resource celebrating 65 years in business. As the largest landscape contractor in Wisconsin, they have the talent, experience, passion, and wherewithal to perform virtually any landscaping project, big or small. They could come over to your house, John, and take care of all your landscaping. They do residential, they do commercial, they do it all. You can check them out at davidjfrank.com. They do lawn care, flower care, trimming, shaping, pruning, and again, they have offices in Madison, Milwaukee, and Kenosha. Just go to the website, davidjfrank.com. That's davidjfrank.com.
Well, I mentioned this. If they did come over to my house, they would walk away instantly.
What?
Give
up right away?
The yard is a disaster.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't think they can handle it?
Well, they're going to have to bring in
the heavy-duty equipment.
Heavy-duty equipment to get this thing in there, the dump trucks, resoiling the entire property because it is a mess.
Hey, coming up in our 7 o'clock hour, former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin will join us to talk about, well, whatever he wants to talk about. Well, Trump, Elon, everything.
We'll see.
It's all coming up on this National Day of Protest, President's Day. Coming right back.
We were saying, let the sun shine. It's the John and Gordy Show.
Don't touch that dial. The John and Gordy Morning Show is about to begin. Be a part of the show. Call or text 608-879-8255 or use the free Civic Media app. And now, live from the Civic Media Mothership in Madison, Wisconsin, here they are, John Peterson and Gordy Young.
Happy President's Day.
It's a beautiful day today in the neighborhood.
It's gorgeous. Sunshine. It's going to be beautiful all day long. It's going to look great. It's going to feel really, really cold all day for the next 3 days.
Yeah.
Really dangerously cold.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Right now it's -2. It feels like -15 to -25 when we get the winds out of the west. And our high today just 5 above zero. So be careful.
It doesn't look like it's windy right now.
No, it doesn't.
So
I don't see any leaves blowing around.
No.
Because all the leaf blower guys blew them away weeks ago.
He did his job. He cleared the trees.
He did. A little bit later on, we'll be talking to former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin, who will join us to talk about President's Day and what's happening on the political landscape.
Oh, yeah. What he thinks of, stopping government from functioning completely.
Right?
And you're just asking some outside guy, a billionaire who doesn't have to worry about anything ever again. He's coming in here and just destroying government, doesn't understand government. I hope I've already impressed everybody last hour that he doesn't understand what's going on in government, how it works.
Elon?
Yeah, it's supposed
doesn't
to be.
Get it.
It's supposed to be a process. It isn't supposed to be something you can just do overnight. I did read an interview where they were talking to another tech person about all of this, and this is how they do it in the tech industry. They go in very quickly, make the changes immediately.
Right.
But it doesn't work that way in government. It could never work that way, and we're going to see what happens. But, of course, no one knows what Elon is doing. That's the part that drives me crazy, right? I mean, there's
no oversight.
There's so many red flags that go up, and I'm sitting, wait a minute, he can't do this. You can't shut down a government agency just on a whim and call it. And, his hot word is corrupt. Everything is corrupt. Anything he doesn't like, he describes as corrupt. That's a huge, major red flag. He is not looking at this in an impartial way to try to figure things out, how to improve things.
I bet the factories that make red flags are doing really well right now.
Right? There you go. Yeah, they're selling them out like crazy. Yeah. So anyway, this Tom Suozzi, he's a representative. He's a Democrat, and he decided to come out and try to ask and get some answers about anybody knowing anything about Elon. Anybody do a background check on this guy? Let's check cut 78 out.
People who come to work for the federal government, if you're a cabinet official, you have to go through these big hearings. A lot of people have to go through background checks. A lot of people have to go through security checks. They get security clearance. What kind of background checks or transparency into the background of Mr. Musk or the people that are working for him has been done? Do you know, Mr. Dubois?
I don't know the background checks. I know President Trump had an electoral mandate to create.
No, I understand that.
No, he didn't.
He has his electoral mandate to hire cabinet officials, but they have to go through hearings and things like that. Mr. Sepp, do you know how these people were vetted?
No.
Mr. Lodwood, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
Ms. Kochulacek, do you know how they were vetted?
We have not looked at these specific individuals.
Ms. Olson, do you know how they were vetted?
No.
What kind of access does Mr. Musk and his team have? What kind of changes have they been making to the computer programs? How many of those changes to computer programs are permanent? And how will that affect people going forward? Mr. Dubois, what's he doing?
I don't know what he's doing.
You don't know.
I think
okay,
he's
Mr.
looking
Sepp, do you
at.
know what he's doing?
No.
Mr. Lodwood, do you know what he's doing?
It would be inappropriate for me for comment on.
Ms. Kochulacek, do you know what he's doing?
We have not looked at that.
Ms. Olson?
No.
Does anybody here know what they're doing? Does anybody know what kind of keystrokes changes they're making and they're permanent? Does anybody know what their backgrounds are? Does anybody know what they're doing with the information that they have and how they're using it? I agree with my colleagues who noted before that Mr. Littlejohn, who disclosed this information, is a criminal and deserves to be in jail, and I'm happy that he's been prosecuted. And anybody who has violated 6103, that takes private data and shares it with other people, should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We in Congress have an obligation as an equal branch of government to monitor what's going on right now. We're all for finding cost efficiencies. I know Mr. Bean, for example, has the DOGE committee. That's a great thing for us to look for efficiencies, to root out waste, fraud, and abuse. But there's a thing, pesky thing, called the United States Constitution, and it has the responsibilities of the United States Congress in the oversight and power of the purse. I yield back, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. There you go. Now, if that isn't frightening, I don't know what isn't. Okay? Seriously, none of these people knew exactly what Elon was doing.
Nope.
Nothing at all.
No idea.
And he changes nothing.
He can do anything he wants.
Why wasn't that clip played all the time in the last couple of days? Seriously.
Last couple of weeks.
I mean, this is just unbelievable to hear something like that. So Elon obviously doesn't know what he's doing, but he proved it. He proved it. And and now they're trying to rehire the nuclear safety employees.
They're kind of important.
That they let go. President Trump's administration is struggling to contact recently laid off nuclear safety employees to inform them that they have been reinstated.
But they can't find their addresses, right? They can't get a hold of
everything. They got rid of all the information.
Right. So they can't. They don't know how to get a hold of them to tell them they've been rehired. They're just trying to get the word out.
They didn't think to maybe save this information or keep it there. You know, they could do this, but
yeah, but they didn't.
Officials allegedly did not seem to realize that this agency oversees the U.S. stockpile of nuclear weapons.
Yeah, it seems like it
should
be a high priority.
It could be an important thing to know.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah.
They've got some interns that are still walking around, so, volunteers.
Well, that's the bright side there, Gordy. Thank you. Oh, now I mentioned that corruption is like the hot word for Elon. Okay, everything is corrupt. Doge has been using AI systems to explore Social Security databases, but AI is prone to hallucinations. So using the AI system to, go through the Social Security databases, who knows what will happen that way.
They've got to stop giving AI LSD. It's not a good idea. Don't put that. Don't get it.
Well.
Just leave it alone.
Maybe it'll just be like, we just want peace and love in the world. It'll listen to some nice music.
Yes.
Maybe that's what'll happen if we give AI psychedelics.
Fly Translove Airways. All right. Widespread cuts to Food and Drug Administration could significantly undermine the government's ability to identify the source of foodborne illnesses, something we should all, hope that the Food and Drug Administration will warn us about. But now that we've cut that significantly and got rid of almost everybody in the department, that's okay. They're dodging bullets here left and right. One of these days, it's going to land. The bird flu is sitting out there infecting all of these animals.
Spreading around.
Yeah, spreading. Yeah. And they haven't done anything with that. Here's another point. In its rush to shut down U.S. aid, Doge risks further harming the already fragile farm economy. And we've already seen that happen over and over and over again. Now, I've heard rumors that they're going to get rid of the food stamp program that these farmers depend on. Yeah. They are the ones donating a lot of this money to the food reserves that we have out there, the food
supplies,
distribution centers.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. Reducing the CIA or FBI workforce in an era of asymmetric warfare, when threats to the U.S. security can emerge from places most Americans have never heard of, may be, as intelligence expert David Ignatius put it, the Trump administration's most dangerous misstep. And that's what they're doing.
Yeah, well,
all of this stuff.
Yeah, they're reducing CIA, FBI. They're going after everything with a meat cleaver.
I mentioned this. If anybody wants to attack the country, this is the time to do it.
Well, don't
I'm just,
send that message
I'm just
out.
sending the message out there right
now. No. We don't want that.
All right.
It is 7:16. You can give us a call, 608-879-8255. That's 879-TALK, or just do it the easy way. Get on the Civic Media app and send us a text or a phone call. This portion of John and Gordy in the Morning is brought to you by Verlo Mattress. Their President's Day sale is ongoing, and you can get savings and support your dreams of having a Verlo mattress with long-lasting craftsmanship and unbeatable prices. In fact, you can save up to $250 or $500 or $850, depending on your choice of mattresses, and also adjustable bases. They have you can save up to 50% on their adjustable bases. Check out their east side location or west side location. These offers are valid at those two locations. Also, free 0% financing available for 6, 12, or even up to 18 months. Go to Verlo.com. That's Verlo.com.
All right. We're continuing with the Musk expose here.
Yes.
There's firing people.
There's so much.
Has a delayed effect. Two things. No one shuts down entire administrative offices, right? No one does that. It's ridiculous. But they're doing it, and people are accepting it. And I think a lot of the MAGAs appreciate that because they don't believe the government should have all these departments. Not in the 21st century,
right,
where the country has certainly grown since the founding. Anyway, and then second, Republicans consider this one of their biggest wish list items, claiming the Constitution doesn't allow for federal government agencies. Right? Federal government is limited to what the Constitution says. The rest is left up to the states and the people. And the people have decided to make all these big departments because we have new industries, we have new things that we have to take care of and supervise.
Sure.
So all of these things are this is a delayed effect. If you get rid of people now, it's a delayed effect. We're going to feel this later on, and it's not going to be good for the economy.
No, it's not. Coming up in about 15 minutes, we'll talk to former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin. He's right around the corner. And we'll be back with more of John and Gordy in the Morning in just a few moments.
Example, but you feel me.
No. She said something before that. Roll up a little bit.
Are you looking at the text line?
About,
Yeah.
Oh.
That Musk reminds me of Bruce Almighty.
Oh,
Bruce
yeah.
Let everyone
Okay.
Letting everyone win the lottery.
Yeah.
Hi, Brittany.
Good morning. Hey.
Hey.
Did you do anything fun and exciting? If you did, save it for the air.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you jump out of a plane?
No, don't.
No? Okay.
She might have. Boy, what a nightmare, though.
We got a bunch of messy snow now.
Yeah.
It's frozen.
I hate messy snow.
It's all dirty.
Yeah.
And
Should have been
sludgy.
more organized.
Yeah.
It'll be gone early next week.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Oh,
Wow.
wow.
Okay.
The lead.
How are things
That's
shaping up
That's
for
the
the
headline.
Burkebiner? Maybe we'll ask you that.
No.
No?
Yeah. Okay. I hate the Burkebiner. I just
I
hate the
wonder
name.
if
I hate the name.
Is Todd going to go up there again?
Maybe.
I think.
Why don't you go up there?
I'm not going up there.
I'll probably
10
go.
seconds.
You were telling me how much you admire Todd's efforts to go up to the burger.
Man, dig this crazy pad. Man, it's a mad pad.
It is 92.7 WMDX. John and Gordy in the morning at the pad.
Time to find out what's happening with the weather, and our civic media meteorologist, Brittany Merlot, joins us now. Good morning, Brittany.
Hi.
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
Well,
Doing all right.
I don't know. I'm exhausted. I mean, it was a very, very snowy weekend. We don't need this.
A lot of shoveling.
I don't even know why we have snow during the winter anymore.
You just want to
climate
get rid of
change.
that.
Don't we have climate change?
Yeah. How was
Well,
your
hey.
weekend, Brittany?
Oh, my weekend was filled with snow. Much fun. I went snowmobiling.
Oh, yeah.
Finally, yes.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of
Finally.
snowmobilers out around
I did.
here.
It crossed 12,
Yes.
Highway 12. They were
Right.
just crossing over it.
I know. Yeah, I saw them up
Luckily, they didn't have to slow down. They just sped right across Highway 12.
Yeah.
There was a little traffic break for each side. That was great.
Oh,
there.
that's
Do you own a
awesome.
snowmobile?
No, I don't actually. I used to back in the day, but ended up selling it over the years, and now I just rent. But there's plenty of places up in the Northwoods that still have sleds available. I went last minute. They had some. It was awesome. The trails were packed. The businesses, the restaurants along the trails, oh my gosh, getting filled to the brim. So it was nice to see everybody out and about and supporting the areas up there because we did not have our snowmobile trails open last year. But it's pretty cool. I live right off of one as well, and they're just speeding past, and it just gave me the bug. So I had to go. I had to rip it.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a lot of fun, a lot of pent-up frustration about not being able to go snowmobiling.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So, isn't the Birkebeiner next weekend or this week sometime?
Yeah, that is Saturday the 22nd, I think, is their actual big American Birkebeiner race where everyone's going to be there with the cowbells at the finish line and downtown Hayward.
Are they going to have enough snow this year, or are they going to have to truck it in from Alaska or wherever they bring it in?
Well, as of right now, seriously, they changed the course last year. They were in a loop and cable or doing something ridiculous like that. So
yeah.
As of right now, they're saying the full course from Cable to Hayward, downtown, it's good to go. They're looking at, they got, 5-6 inches of snow over the weekend as well. So added to that. But the only bad thing is we've got, what's today? Is the 22nd? Oh, good. It's going to be before the warm-up because we're going to hit some 40s on Monday and Tuesday. So
all right.
Okay.
All right.
So they'll be okay. And then,
okay. Perfect timing. This is great.
It is.
So in the meantime, just cold today and for the next couple of days, super cold.
And then warming trend.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Super, super cold. So highs today, 4 degrees. We'll be at 6 tomorrow, 9 on Wednesday. Then we'll get into the teens on Thursday, some 20s Friday, Saturday, and then those mid 40s potentially Monday, Tuesday. So all that snow will be gone.
All right.
Okay. Very good, Brittany.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. You guys enjoy the day. Stay warm.
Okay. You too.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Brittany. Brittany Merlot, our civic media meteorologist.
Always good news. The headline right there, a warming trend is going to take place.
Yeah. Are you getting blinded by the sun now?
I am
just
now.
Made it over
yeah,
there.
It rounded the corner of that building.
Well, let me go on to something here.
All right.
Let's tell you that this portion of the John and Gordy Show is brought to you by David J. Frank, your turnkey one-stop landscaping resource celebrating 65 years. They do it all: lawn care, flower care, trimming, shaping, pruning, and residential services, commercial services too. The largest landscape contractor in Wisconsin. Branches in Madison, Milwaukee, and Kenosha. Just go to davidjfrank.com. That's davidjfrank.com. John?
Let's talk again about the firings. Musk is committing. I have this little cut here, cut 110, if we can hear this. And this is all about cutting federal workers.
As President Trump and Elon Musk escalate plans to downsize the federal government, confusion about who has a job and who doesn't. NBC News obtaining an email trying to unfire employees at the National Nuclear Security Administration, saying in part, the termination letters for some NNSA probationary employees are being rescinded. Officials admitting they do not have a good way to get in touch with those personnel. Musk telegraphing last week that he could falter in his effort to crush fraud, waste, and abuse.
We are moving fast, so we will make mistakes, but we'll also fix the mistakes very quickly.
The DOJ also terminating 20 immigration judges, including a Friday night firing of 18 recent hires, according to the union that represents them. Its president, citing a backlog of millions of cases, called the firings baffling and nonsensical. This all comes after thousands of layoffs across several federal agencies. Lawyer Kate Royce fired last week after 6 months at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
When you got that email, what went through your mind?
So I think my first emotion was grief, quickly followed by anger. I'm worried about paying rent in March. I'm worried about getting the health care that I need.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yes.
Well, it's just willy-nilly, whatever they want to do, right?
We got time for a quick phone call here. Let's go to the phones.
We have Musk on the line.
Musk.
This is not Musk. I was on the wrong computer.
You said it was. Elon Musk is on the line. Good morning, Elon.
This is Dick giving us a call.
Oh, it's.
Well, hi, Dick.
Good morning, Dick.
Well, almost as bad. Real quick, I'm kind of wondering, these people out that took the buyout too.
Yeah.
You see what's happened to them? They're dead beating them on the payoff.
Yeah,
is that right?
Different than the way he. Yes. And then I heard that, I don't know if this is true, fact check me, but I could believe it, that Musk is trying to get one of these women that he's had a child with to move back to Texas because, guess why? The child support is less there.
Oh, my God. Really? I wonder if that's true. Wouldn't doubt it.
From Saturday Night Live, but
Yeah.
I believe it could be true. And then I don't want to bother you with asking the mayor about that weed whacking stuff last Monday or Tuesday.
That's right. Yeah, you were talking about that.
That's
Dick,
right.
About
John Nolan,
I guess
right?
they wanted to get it in before the snow is what I figured. So I got my answer.
All right.
okay, good
All right,
enough.
but that's what I had.
All right. Appreciate it, Dick. Thank
Dick,
you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that call. Yeah, we do have Madison Mayor Paul Soglin coming in after the Midwest Farm Report.
How come no one, the news media doesn't seem like any of this stuff is a red flag to them? Because you close down major departments of the government,
Right.
people are unemployed, they're let go, they're given the fork in the road statements to either, let them know they're quitting or not. All of this stuff is happening before our very eyes, but they don't seem to understand that we need all of these people. They're not just doing nothing like Elon suggests. They're actually doing work for the government and for us.
Yes. Again, Mayor Paul Soglin, former Mayor Paul Soglin, will join us in just a few minutes on John and Gordy in the morning.
Paul's on. Put your headphones on.
Got the headphones on. Yep.
Oh.
Good morning, Paul.
Yeah, they make headphones.
We're doing some news right now, so we got a couple of minutes before we start up. So we can talk about anything you want to talk about.
Let's talk about what Trump's doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. Yeah. It is so unbelievable. It's
every day. It's a fire hose of information and shutdowns and disinformation.
I want your take on how, like, everything crazy that's happening with Doge is going to start affecting us here in Madison more.
I'm going to take it further than that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Some people may think I'm a lunatic.
Well, I'm sure that'll be the first time.
Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay.
All right.
All these prosecutors getting fired or quitting.
Yeah.
With the Eric Adams thing.
Yeah. Boy, that's just blatant corruption right there. Nothing.
Yes.
Nothing hidden. Nothing undercover there. Let's see here.
All right.
Study comes.
Still got a couple of minutes here.
The study comes as Ohio announced its first human case of bird flu.
Bird flu?
Who was hospitalized with respiratory symptoms but has since
30
recovered.
seconds.
How many?
30.
Okay.
No less than that.
Mm-hmm.
If you get bird flu, do you turn into a bird, John?
I think so. I think you do the bird dance much better.
Bird is the word.
Bird is the word. Everybody's
that could be that could be the song they play eventually.
We should play that to it.
From the Capitol to the campus and all across Dane County, we've got Madison Talking, 92.7 WMDX.
We're here in the morning with you, keeping you company.
Happy President's Day.
Hoping to calm everybody's nerves out there. Everything is collapsing around us, but we're here holding up the fort, right?
Yeah, we're holding your hand through it all. It's all going to be just fine.
It is.
It's going to all work out okay. Right?
You're so uplifting. That is fantastic.
It's reassuring.
Let's get some more uplifting information. As our special guest, former Mayor Paul Soglin is on the line right now.
Good morning,
With
Paul.
a lot of positive things to tell us this morning, Paul.
I'm not so sure about uplifting or positive.
Oh, I know.
You should hang up right now.
No.
Well, now, we were trying to depress everybody earlier with all this information about what Doge is doing. What's your input in it? What's your thought on this?
I think it is just the first act.
Yeah.
I think it's just the setup. It's designed to do what it's doing. One is to get people out of the government that Trump and Trump 2, that's Elon, want out of the way when they start Act 2. And it's also designed to rile up the American people.
What will Act 2 look like?
Act 2 is the coup. I think this is deliberately being set up, and that's why he particularly wants people loyal to him in the military to suspend the Constitution. He's already said that if you're saving the country, you can break the law.
Right.
He's sending a message to the Supreme Court, expecting them to back him up. And this is how he'll in effect shut down the Congress. He wants people out in the streets. The more unruly, the more riotous, the better. And then he suspends the Constitution and does exactly what he's been telling us for the last 12 years is his intent.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising so far that we haven't seen the kind of protests that I would have expected at this point. Watching everything happen, and all the workers, all the federal employees, these dedicated individuals who've been keeping the government running smoothly for all of this time. All I had to do was do audits.
And protecting us.
Yes, protecting us, and as somebody mentioned here let me see a text, it's called the promotion of the general welfare and domestic tranquility. That's part of the Constitution that they're violating at this point. So, I'm surprised we haven't seen total unrest, but I suppose that's coming, right?
It'll occur in the kinds of areas we've seen before, over a woman's right to control her body, over the illegal detention of people who immigrated to the United States. But I think it'll expand. Mm-hmm. It'll expand as there's actually food shortages. He's got absolutely no problem with bird flu, and he's got absolutely no problem with the fact that he's decimated all the federal agencies that could do something effectively to stop a pandemic, which might not be as bad as COVID, but would certainly be devastating, both in terms of health and in terms of food resources. He's got absolutely no hesitancy to provoke people. He's probably disappointed it hasn't occurred to this date.
So, Paul, today is supposed to be a national day of protest. There's going to be protests in Washington, D.C. and in all the state capitals. At least that's what we're hearing. But, of course, it's early in this protest. There hasn't been that much uprising yet.
Yeah, throughout the country. So,
right.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it all plays out later on today. We'll see. I guess it's set for noon here at the state capitol. And we'll see where it goes from there.
The beauty for him, the beauty of it is that usually when you have a coup that takes over or something of that sort, there's a downside. The downside is if you fail, you're probably going to be found guilty of treason and executed. But he figures the worst that's going to happen is, he'll get a slap on the wrist. Why? Because he has this complacent, toady Republican majority in both houses of Congress. And that, I think, is where the future of the country lies. It's whether there's going to be a handful of members of the Republican Party in both houses of Congress who at some point are going to step up and say, no, we're not going to be compliant. We're not going to go along with this.
Well, I know that there's like 2 senators, Democratic senators so far, that are announcing that they're not running for office again, which may set up, even more Republicans elected to the Senate. And we're watching all of this happen with the departments that I think most of the American public are unfamiliar with. What the administrative process is, how it keeps things rolling smoothly along. The fact that these individuals, these government workers, actually have a job to do to make all of this stuff work. And when that's all gone, there is going to be a repercussion. But I don't think a lot of people understand the problem of doing away with all these departments and all these individuals who've dedicated their lives to those departments. And it's really going to hit hard when they finally get to health care in this country. I think that's the one that's going to set this whole thing on fire.
Well, let's just look at how Musk and his posse are even perhaps more ignorant than the general public in terms of the consequences of what these folks who are in effect protecting us do. So you've got thousands of tons of radioactive material that are left over going back to the testing in the 1950s and the uses in nuclear power plants. And That stuff is live. It is dangerous, and it needs monitoring. And they were perfectly willing to dismiss the folks who do that.
Yeah.
With the Center for Disease Control, CDC, you've got the exact same issue, same problem in terms of, how do we respond to the next pandemic? It's maybe nothing more than a really bad year of the flu, but we're already seeing problems with bird flu, and there's the problems in Texas with all those kids who are contracting measles.
Mm-hmm.
So most people would try to dismantle the government. Well, let's put it this way. This has been tried before. Ronald Reagan was determined to do it. Bush II was determined to do it. And in both instances, they failed to dismantle the government and destroy our lives, because once they came in with the chainsaw attitude that Musk and Trump are wielding, they came to realize there are very important services being provided to protect us on a daily basis, whether it's from radioactive nuclear waste, whether it's to maintaining highways and bridges. And let's not forget all the situations we've had in recent years of, for example, bridges collapsing, with tragically people on them at the time.
Right.
This is what government does. And, use a local example. Here locally, we plow the streets. Those are public employees. And that means we have access to food, to hospitals, to getting to work.
That's right. I always compare it to like a corporation, because you don't shut down the corporation if you're having an audit. You just don't, and you don't lay off all your employees when you do it. And that's exactly what they're doing to the federal government. It's like a business. They're doing their job. They're supplying a service to everybody, just like a business would be. Businesses don't shut down. They don't fire their employees and ask them to come back later or retire early because they're conducting an audit just to kind of keep the book straight. They've already got an auditor.
I can't remember how long it was ago, 20, 30 years, there was Chainsaw Al. From Sunbeam. And this is real interesting that you raise the comparison between the government and the private sector. The first thing to remember is that when this chainsaw attitude has been used to dismantling and so-called attempts to improve production in private companies, it doesn't work. It's nothing to debate. It does not work. You in effect are decimating the very people and the very parts of production that is what makes you successful. And the private sector no longer does that unless it is planning to, in effect, cannibalize, in effect, cherry pick, destroy the business, and be left with the cash and nothing else.
Right.
So first, they're attempting to try a process that failed in the private sector. But the second thing is this. If you take any kind of activity, any at all, if it's profitable, the private sector wants it. They want government out of it, which means if it's a loser, if it's a turkey, and it's what I refer to as the turkey theory of government, then government gets stuck with it. By the very definition of what we expect government to do, it is a loser. It could be public transit. It could be providing safe, healthy water. It's all the things we've been talking about. And so when you start taking a chainsaw to government, you're basically dealing with what's critical to preserving life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If there's a profit in it, the private sector would have done it a long time ago. And let me just add that in certain places, whether it's a parking system like Chicago or it's drinking water. If there's money to be made into it, the private sector is moving there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Talking to you, former Madison Mayor Paul Soglin. You can give us a call, 608-879-8255, 879-TALK.
Well, I compared it to National Institute of Health.
Yeah.
They've given all of the responsibilities to universities across our country to do a lot of the research, a lot of the legwork first, because as you mentioned, the government isn't here to make a profit. In fact, there's a lot of losses in all of these investigations and all of these attempts to come up with new drugs. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't want to do that. They don't want to spend billions of dollars on something that won't pan out. So they leave it up to the universities to do all of the research. And when they finally come up with something, anything, the drug companies take over at that point, kind of fine tune it and then market it. So that's what's happened. And if we go to the private sector, they're not going to go through the work. They're not going to go through the experimentation or spend the kind of money for the public good.
And keep in mind, when the government is successful, for example, look at all the technology that was developed both by the military in terms of wars, which led to incredible innovations in healthcare, which are now used in the public sector, particularly dealing with surgical procedures, or what happened in the space race, Mr. Musk. Well, all that technology is out there for the private sector. They got it for free.
Yep, that's right. Well, we're talking to Mayor Paul Soglin. Hang on a second. We will be back with more.
Yeah. Hold on, Paul.
In just a moment on John and Gordy in the Morning.
The American dream is killing me. When it's all double talk of insanity. The American dream is killing me.
Did you ask for calls or just text? Because we can only take one call at a time.
I asked for calls.
Oh.
You got Soglin here.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be back in a minute here.
Yeah.
We do have another. Can we take a call or no?
No.
We can't.
If we have Paul on the line,
Yeah,
no.
we're good. We're
okay.
good.
That's fine.
Yeah, I want to get into this. Paul, how about something more international? Making news, of course, is, Trump's boisterous way of talking about the Middle East now. And, we did this once before when we kind of tampered with some world leaders in other countries and set off an entire array of terrorism because of it. And I have a feeling that something like that is starting all over again.
Well, I think what's happening internationally.
Hold on.
Particularly.
Let's talk about it when we go back on, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
I got to do a quick Verlo ad, and then we'll be back on.
How much time?
1 minute.
Be back in a minute. Got a siren going through. Oh, what's happening here?
No, it's
not police activity on State Street.
Oh, no.
No, they're heading down Dayton or whatever this is.
Yeah.
Fair try.
Yeah, you got the blinds shut now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Well, I assume they'll arrest us pretty soon, too.
Yeah, I imagine they'll shut down civic media and we'll be hauled away in chains. What do we got? 5 minutes, 6 minutes with Paul?
Yeah.
7:20.
Okay.
It'll be less than that.
Yep.
The Riviera of the Middle East, is that?
Gaza?
Yeah.
10 seconds.
The Riviera.
WMDX, John and Gordy in the morning. Our special guest, Paul Soglin, will be back with that conversation in just a moment.
But first, we want to remind you this portion of John and Gordy in the Morning brought to you by Verlo Mattress, where they're having a President's Day sale. That's right, it's happening right now at both the east side and the west side locations. Free 0% financing available for 6, 12, or even up to 18 months. You can save big bucks, $250, $500, or even $850 off their factory direct prices. Yes, the President's Day sale ongoing at Verlo Mattress. Just go to verlo.com.
All right,
John, over to you.
Let's get back to Paul Soglin.
Yes.
Let's talk about what's happening worldwide, because we're hearing Trump talk about Gaza as the Riviera of the Middle East, and I don't think that's going to set well with a lot of Middle Eastern countries at all. And I think we have gone through something like this before, and we have seen a backlash against the West. What's your input on that?
Well, I think the whole Middle East, the whole international set of policies, from the attacks on Gaza to Elon Musk's recent, not Musk, what's the vice president's name? Vance.
J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
Can't remember which of these guys is elected and which isn't. J.D. Vance's trip to Europe is to start sorting out who in the next year is going to be our friends and who's going to be our foes in terms of what Trump does domestically. He knows that some of these very conservative governments in Central Europe can be allies and supporters, starting with Hungary. And my guess is he probably would like to disrupt liberal or progressive governments all over the world, and see in their next elections governments attuned to his kind of, let's call it fascism, in office.
Yeah.
So that he's got more support, both in terms of his international moves, but also in terms of what he plans to do domestically here in the U.S.
Well, one of the craziest things that happened was J.D. Vance meeting with a right-winger in Germany. I guess, the Economist reporter Tom Nuttall reported that German press reports that J.D. Vance met with Alternative for Deutschland, or AfD, co-leader Alice Weidel after his speech in Munich. And Vance just blew off the Chancellor of Germany, a meeting with him, which is just shocking.
Yes.
Well, and this goes back to when Merkel was the chancellor, and one of Trump's greatest critics 8 years ago, he'd like nothing more than a right-wing government installed in Germany. So he gets less pushback, whether it's, again, taking over Gaza or his designs on the Panama Canal.
Well, speaking of international relations, what about Ukraine? Looks like that's going to be decided between Russia and the U.S., and Ukraine wants a seat at the table,
but they're not getting a seat at the table.
They're not getting it yet.
Yeah. He's going to structure the deal, and then he's going to have something very tantalizing for much of the world, which is he's going to be able to come forward and say, I have a solution for peace. Of course, the price of that solution for peace is going to be whatever he gives away in terms of Ukraine. And that puts everybody, the author, the one who first steps forward, is the one who's got the advantage. That's why he's not going to talk to Zelensky and find out what Zelensky's terms are for peace. Do that and turn around and say, we have a solution. Well, Putin won't buy that. So, in terms of the diplomatic maneuvering going on here, Zelensky will be the last one to find out.
Well, we did see this happen before, though. Trump negotiated with the Taliban instead of the Afghan government. Remember that? That was still breathtaking.
And it had a disastrous
Yes.
It had a disastrous result for which he blamed. He left it. You know, he left it in Biden's hand, and when it got implemented as Trump structured it, he placed all the blame on Biden. He's, you know, that whole business about billions of dollars worth of military equipment.
That's right. And of course, you know, he's also threatening to have tariffs on what is the country? Denmark, right? Because of Greenland. So yeah, he's definitely serious about doing something about that as well, which isn't, you know, these are our friends. These are our NATO partners that we're talking about here. And he treats them as though there is no such thing as NATO. Of course, he doesn't want to be a part of NATO, actually. So I guess that works out for him. But, you know, we're not making friends anytime soon with our best
he's not
neighbors.
He's not afraid to throw his own supporters under the bus.
Yeah.
You take agriculture, take farmers.
Yeah.
You got two things going on here. First, if he imposes tariffs, it is going to result in great difficulty for American farmers to ship produce products overseas, commodities. And it's going to devastate the agricultural sector.
Well, we got to...
Secondly, what is there, $2 billion worth of U.S. agriculture that goes into the USAID program?
Yes.
Paul, unfortunately, we're out of time. We got to leave it right there.
Okay, guys.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin, appreciate it. Tomorrow we'll be talking with...
Great talking to you.
Talk to Allison Madison tomorrow about the Wisconsin Salt's WISH program. Salt Wise program. Okay. Thank you, Sam. Stephanie Miller's next. Have a great day.